The Green Bay Packers will play the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL, and to get you guys prepared for the big game, I'm going to do a drawing tutorial with how to draw both logos, the Packers and the Seahawks. So first we're going to start off with the Packers logo. This is probably the hardest part of the logo. You just want to draw kind of like a wide oval, and that's hard because a lot of people find difficulty drawing round shapes such as ovals and circles. So what I recommend is just take your time. Don't try to do it like all at once. And just try to like get a good idea of the dimensions, the sides, and like I said earlier, just take it slow. So you can just kind of go around your lines a couple times, make a shape you're happy with, and also if you want to darken them, like it's a bit flat up here, so I might just round it off. Now you have your logo, your oval, which will serve as the base of the logo. So now you're just going to draw a little little oval just around, just so you make a thin line around the oval you just drew. This is because if you've seen the Packers logo, it has like a thin yellow stripe running around the oval, and this is going to be that thin yellow stripe. So is that. Like I said before, just keep trying. I mean, like nothing. Even my oval doesn't look perfect. But just take your time, go slow. So now we have our thin yellow rim, and we also have our big oval. So now we're going to start doing the most iconic part of the logo, which is the big G for Green Bay. So you could use a straight edge with this, but I'm just going to go freehand. I'm pretty good at drawing straight lines. I'm just going to draw a straight horizontal line right there. So now you're going to go up from there and make a curve. You can keep following it around the edge, but you're going to stop at one point. So before you draw this logo, if you're not great at drawing ovals, I would recommend practicing, because even before I did this, I wasn't aware of how many ovals you are drawing. Okay, so we need to stop. We're going to need to stop it just about here. So now we're going to draw another horizontal straight line. We're going to draw it in. We're going to stop around there. This is going to be the middle of where the G is. I'm just going to go down and do a line almost the same length of this, but we're going to stop here. So now we're going to take from where the point we just stopped, make a really thick part of the G, and it'll thin out just a little bit. So we're going to keep going around. You don't want to make it too thin, because then it just won't look right. You want to do a pretty good curve right here. Now we have the basic pencil sketch of Packers logo. And this doesn't look perfect right now, so what I'm going to do, and if yours looks like how mine does right now, I'm just going to erase right here just so we can make it a little thicker. You'll notice how it is a little thicker here. I mean, like I said earlier, it's still not perfect. The ovals are a little off, but at freehand you can use, you have like templates you can use to do that, but I decided to do it freehand. I think it looks pretty good. Well, now we're gonna get into the coloring of it, which I'm not really gonna explain any coloring techniques because I think it is reasonably straightforward. I'm going to be using Prismacolor colored pencils to color this in, and you can use whatever. I just like Prismacolor the best. I think they're pretty good, and I recommend them if you're looking for a good pencil brand. But so it doesn't really matter what type what shades you use. It's just you're gonna want a dark green, and I'm using the Prismacolor dark green, which is PC 908. Put that on the screen now. And then you're gonna kind of use not really yellow, but more like gold color. I'm gonna use this Prismacolor color called Canary Yellow, and that's PC 916. So I keep going back to this just to make it look a little more natural. I'm gonna time lapse this part because you might not just want to watch me color, but pretty much this around the G is gonna be all dark green, and make sure you don't color in the yellow rim across. So just color in around the G. I just finished coloring it. It's not my best work, it's a little sloppy, but I think you get the idea. I just wanted to show you the color correspondence and like what areas are colored with color. You could also use paint, and I left the G white just because how that is, but if like your paper kind of smudges from pencil lines, you can also do white paint, and you can use whatever shades of green and orange you want. I know my shade of green wasn't completely like as dark as the Packers green, but I think it was pretty close, and I've done better coloring in the past, but I just kind of wanted to show you a general idea of the colors, so could have been better. So now we're going to the Seahawks logo for all you Seahawks fans that have been waiting. So the Seahawks logo, I've drawn it before. I haven't drawn it in a while, but I have drawn it before. And I remember it's a very interesting logo because this one's like an oval and the G, kind of like standard shapes. But this one, I think might be a little more difficult because there's a lot of precise lines and it is a very interesting shape. So we're just gonna start now. So you're just gonna start with a diagonal line that goes from right to left, from top right to bottom left. So now you're gonna make little curve and just draw a line as straight as you can. So here you have kind of like a right angle with a rounded piece right there. I'm just going to go over this line so you can see it a little better. So now you have your straight line. So you're just going to make a curve down here and end it right there. So now you're gonna do a curve, so it's almost like a backward C, but not as complete. So now you're gonna come out from here, right up to there. So what you just did was a sort of rounded line from here, and this is the bottom of the beak. You're gonna keep going. And it might look like I'm doing a straight line now, but it actually is a little rounded. And you're just going to do a rounded line till it ends right about there. When you end the rounded line, make sure it goes in a little bit. So now, the reason it went in, you can add some dimension and come out. And this part's important. When you just did this rounded part, make sure you don't do it above here. Keep going straight. Stop right about there, and the reason is because you're going to draw a curve, and meet it there, so it looks like kind of like a triangle, but with disproportional sides. So this is similar to the Packers logo with what we're going to do right here. I'm just going to make this a little more rounded. Which I'm going to erase right through. Make it a little more rounded because I made it look straight and it's not actually like that in the logo. So what I was saying before, this is kind of like the Packers logo, and what we're going to do now, we're going to draw another, just do a line in the same shape next to it, because on the Seahawks logo, there is a thin white line going around the perimeter. So we're just going to do that curve again, just repeat everything you did. And this is kind of like drawing the oval. You want to make it as even as possible. Like, you don't want, like, it depends what scale you're doing the logo to, like how big. You don't want the line to start like half an inch, then get to like 1 inch. I mean, I'm not saying you have to take out a ruler and measure. You can. You want to look really precise, but if you're just kind of eyeballing it and freehanding it, which you're gonna have to do in art sometimes, I would just recommend just trying to look at all the other ones and just look at the rest of the line in between and just try to make it as consistent as possible. I'm trying to do now. And this also kind of gives you a second chance, because when you do a line around, you get to look at the first line you did again in a lot of detail. So it kind of gives you a second chance to erase some things you might not be too happy with. But I'm pretty happy with every part of my logo, so I'm going to keep it like that. So now we get into kind of a more tricky part. So you're going to go down to about here. You're actually going to erase right here. The reason why is because there's a line that comes out of here. And you're just going to draw one line, one horizontal line to about here and stop. And draw another horizontal line under it, so it makes one big thicker line coming out of here. So now they kind of like part ways. So this one, it's a slight curve down here. Then you're just going to do another curve here. Go from there and go over here. And you want to erase the border. The reason I didn't have you like skip places in the first place is because I think it would help the consistency of how thick this is if you just did it all in one line. So now we're going to erase that and just do what we did back there to make the line one thick. So you're not going to connect it again, you're going to do a slanted line from there to here and end in about the middle. Now you're going to come out from there, and then this is pretty tricky. Do a curved line going down. This is going to be like the Seahawks like eyebrow. So you're going to do a curved line here, then do a squiggly line there. So this one, it's really what I was saying about you want this line to be the same consistency when we're talking you want it to be consistent when talking about the thickness of it. This one is the opposite. It's gonna start thin and just get a little thicker on the way up. So just draw out a little when you want to do a thicker one. I'm gonna go out, and then just a little thinner when it goes in. Don't make it. You can make it the same length, but don't make it significantly different, because it won't really look good. So let's arch the eyebrow up a little. I figured it will look better. That's how it looks. So now we're going to do the eye of the Seahawk. So you're going to want to draw a horizontal line right here. Just draw a curve down. And you're just going to draw. It looks straight, but it is reasonably curved if you look at it closely. You could do it straight and it wouldn't be completely wrong, but I would say for best results, make it curved right here. So now you're gonna do a diagonal line up, like you're drawing any normal eye. Pay attention here because it gets a little tricky. You're gonna go up, and then it's not gonna touch that line. And here, draw a straight line. Make sure it doesn't touch. This is all actually one line, so make sure that here, that the line here to there is the same thickness. you want this to be the same thickness, but since this is an eye, it gets thicker here. So you're just going to draw a curved line. Just going to go straight up. I'm going to erase that because it doesn't go straight up. Curves our endpoint here. So now I have the white of the eye of the Seahawk. So the reason there's a big gap here and the green part of the eye isn't actually that big is because there's a navy part in between. So what I recommend for this part is you draw a light line, because this is a temporary line right here. You're not going to be able to see it, but probably. But this is a light, there's a light line that goes here, down a little, and there. And you're going to make a line kind of straight that touches the lighter one. Now you're going to make it go curved, still keep it a little flat. So now you're going to do pretty wide curve here and make it touch the light line. Now you're going to erase the light line because there's not actually an existing line there. It would just make it easier. But for you would have actually just drawn it again. And just draw a cube. And that's just going to be the same shape that we just did, or similar. It's going to go just like a U. So now you're actually finally going to erase that once and for all. Just gotta fix that because I erased it a little bit. Now we're going to do the final details of the beak. And because this doesn't look like much of a beak. So first, you're going to draw a line right here. From that line, you're going to draw, it's going to curve here, and it's going to go flatter, but diagonal there. And then it's going to be really thin here, it's going to get thicker here, and it's going to curl in. Right. Make sure it doesn't cover the whole line, like what I did there. Make sure it's just a part of it, because we need to do 2 more of these. So now, do that. And do another diagonal line, but instead of ending at a point, you're going to draw a line that connects to the point you just did there. Now you have a little bit of this line left. You're going to use that. It's going to go up near the eye. Not touching the eye, just close to it. And do a curve here. And right here, this is kind of like, you're going to do a similar shape to what you did up here. But you're going to make almost like a curved triangle. So you're just going to keep doing the curve. And you're going to go in. And you're going to go out. And this one, you're just going to do a line that ends there for the beak. So you can see a little better. So now you've completed the pencil sketch. I'm going to fix the beak here. So now you have finished the pencil sketch of the Seahawks logo. And I think it was a little harder than the Packers logo. But I'm still gonna color it for you guys. So the color still kind of needs some sort of like neon green. So I'm gonna be using this. I'm using spring green. That is PC 912. And there's a good amount of logo that's white. So the only other color we need is navy. And a lot of pencil sets, even if they're big, like I have the 72 pack of Prismacolor, they won't have a huge selection of navy blues, most of them. But I'm going to use, it's called Indigo Blue, and that's PC 901. So I'm just going to color in the Seahawks logo. And you don't have to exactly follow my coloring technique, and it's not going to be the neatest I've ever done. I just want to, again, like I said with the Packers logo, just get it so you can see what colors. I just tested this one and it looks good. So actually I'm going to use a 20% warm gray, and that is PC 1051. So I've just finished the coloring. I think they did a better job on the coloring than they did on the Packers. And you can leave it like this if you think that's the best. If you're happy with this, you can keep it. But I'm just gonna go over the border in a black fine liner, because some pictures of the actual logo have a little shadow here, just so it can stand out better, especially on a white background. I'm just gonna do that now, and for tracing, it's kind of obvious, but just make sure your pen stays on the pencil at all times and you watch it really closely. You don't really want to wander, because you put the pencil lines for a reason there, and if you wander and you don't put it the line it's supposed to, it just won't look good. So I'm going to continue to just go right over all the curves. And I know I said to draw the logo you want to take it slow, but as you can tell, with the fine liner, you just want to go much slower, because when you do pencil lines, you're putting them down first thing, so it doesn't, like, you should go slow so it looks good. But since you're just putting them down, it's nothing else to kind of go over. But fine liner, you're going over existing lines, and most of them are permanent, so you just want to go much slower. So that concludes this tutorial video. If you want to buy the supplies, the links will be in the description. This is a Muji pen, by the way. Bought it at the store, called Muji. And so just like the video, comment, subscribe. Comment if you like it, because I can do tutorials for more teams in the future.